LeBron's Lakers picking up the pieces after a devastating defeat. Is it all over long term in LA? Meanwhile, this all-time great offers the best reason yet to believe he isn't done winning Super Bowls. Wait until you hear this. And we will explain why we are just a few days away from finding out exactly how this is going to go down with Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay. All of that and more in the hopper as we get up with you, starting right now with this Lakers-Suns Game 6 last night in LA. Anthony Davis giving it a go with a groin injury, but it would not last long. Take a look here. You can see he's just a shell of himself. He was trying to do what he could against Devin Booker there, but he can't do anything, and he can't get back on defense. And at one point, he looked like he could barely stand. And that look on his face tells you everything you need to know. It was over early for AD and for his team. And that was largely because of this man, Devin Booker, on fire. 6 threes in the first, tied for the most threes in any quarter in NBA playoff history. Halfway through the second, there's another. The Suns by 21 at halftime. 5 minutes to go in the third. Lakers down 15. LeBron not giving up in traffic, taking it strong. It's a 13-point game. The fans at Staples trying desperately to will the defending champs back into it. A minute and a half to go in the third. Lakers down 15. There's LeBron again. He had 29. It's a 13-point game going to the fourth quarter. But there was just too much from the Suns. The leadership from Chris Paul. He had 8 points, 12 assists, and he was feeling it in the final few minutes there. You know he knows what's happening. Under 2 minutes to go. Suns up 13. Look at LeBron. He just knows it's over. Doesn't even come out to challenge. In this game, Phoenix would shoot 50% from the floor, 51% from three. Devin Booker would finish with 47, and the Lakers would finish in the first round, 113-100. Phoenix takes it in 6.
Just wanted to be out there for the team, in a situation, win or go home. Obviously didn't want to just lay down and not be able to do what I can. It never really felt good, but like I say, I once God, just the competitive nature in me to go out and help the team, as best as I could. My body didn't agree.
It doesn't matter to me as far as, not making it out of the first round. What matters to me is getting this team back healthy. Me not being able to be at my full strength throughout this series, that's my main focus. But, time to readjust and think about what the offseason has in store.
The earliest he's ever gone to the offseason. LeBron's teams had never lost in round one, and we have a full squad ready to go here. Kendrick Perkins, Zach Lowe gets up with us this morning. Tim Legler back with us here. Big Perk, LeBron has become that rarest of athletes who, with everything he does, it becomes about his legacy. What is last night regarding LeBron James and his legacy?
It was nothing, Greeny. Look, we're talking about a guy that's in his 18th season. And I get caught up in this at times, too, about just his greatness and his expectations and the pressure. But in his 18th season, and I get it, he's 36 years old, but we have to remember the miles, the wear and tear that is on this man's body and the stuff that he had to battle through this season just to get to this point. And he still was a hell of a LeBron James. I mean, he wasn't the greatest of what we've seen, the greatest version, but he still came out there and delivered, and did what he could do best. And that's go out there and try to give you 22 a night on 50% shooting. So I don't want to hear anything about LeBron James, he didn't deliver, he's washed, he's this, he's that. No, this is just a guy we're seeing in his 18th year. What else do we expect?
I think that's fair. And Tim Legler said something similar. But Zach Lowe, you and I talked yesterday, and we were talking about Game 6 LeBron. And that's a decade ago for the most part that we are talking about here. Is it reasonable to think that perhaps that LeBron James is someone we will not see again?
I'm not going there. He is staring down his basketball mortality now. This is 2 major injuries in 3 seasons for a guy who never, ever got hurt. An indestructible tank is now a little bit destructible. But I'm not going there. If LeBron's healthy and AD is healthy, this is a team to be reckoned with. Now, they got some big decisions to make with Dennis Schroeder, who was awful for the most part in this series, with Alex Caruso, with Taylor Horton-Tucker, with the supporting cast. But if those guys are healthy, I am not writing them off yet. And I agree with Perk on LeBron's legacy in this game not really impacting it all that much.
Yeah, and Timmy Legler said something earlier. So, Legs, let me then bring you in on this. If you're the person in charge of making the decisions for the Lakers, are you looking at it as though I'm running this thing back? If we stay healthy, this is a championship caliber team, or do you think that some sort of significant addition or change needs to be made? Legs.
I think they absolutely need to tweak the supporting cast. I think they need to get a little bit younger, more athletic. I think this is a team, when you looked at them last night against Phoenix was playing at a completely different RPM than the Lakers were. Now, granted, LeBron was out there by himself, and I think some of us, myself included, we kind of gave LeBron a benefit of the doubt going into the game that maybe we're going to see this vintage rollback LeBron, that he was against the Warriors when he was doing it by himself offensively, scoring at will, controlling the game, getting wherever he wanted to on the floor, whenever he wanted to. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and that's a testament to his greatness that we did this deep into his career think he could roll it back last night. Obviously, they got hit with a barrage, and it's too much at this stage of LeBron's career to come back from that. And he's not that player anymore, and there's nothing wrong with that this deep into his career. So with that slight decline in LeBron's game, his physical stature, Anthony Davis uncertainty, you need to go out and I think you need to get some fresher, younger legs and guys that can get up and down the floor. Maybe somebody else that can get their own shot, get their own offense. If LeBron is out of the game, as Dennis Schroeder ended up being a little bit unreliable on the offensive end of the floor. So there definitely needs to be tweaks. You're not going to run it back with LeBron and AD, I don't believe, with just 1 year of age. And again, Anthony Davis most likely to go through some sort of injury again next year, and think you're going to navigate a Western Conference, by the way, that now has to include the Utah Jazz and the Phoenix Suns going into the season as legitimate contenders, along with teams like Denver, along with the Clippers who aren't going away, along with a team like Portland. Dallas obviously has a chance now maybe to move on to the second round tonight with Luka Doncic as a superstar. You're not navigating the West by standing pat with two guys at this stage of their careers.
So, Big Perk, let me come to you, because so much of the talk will be about Anthony Davis, and he went out there last night and he gave it a go. Is criticism of him fair? Is criticizing Anthony Davis for his inability to be the guy to help LeBron get over the hump this season, is it fair for him to be criticized? Big Perk.
No, it's not, because Greeny, he did what he needed to do last year to help the Lakers to win a fourth, help LeBron win his fourth title and bring a championship back home to the Los Angeles Lakers. Look, this man was coming off a strained Achilles, dealing with a groin strain on top of a hyperextended knee on the same leg. Like, what you want him to do? Go out there in the wheelchair? At the end of the day, I agree with Tim Legs on the part where he said the role players have to get better, the supporting cast. You look at Dennis Schroeder, a no-show, a guy that asked for $100 million. He was nowhere to be found. Andre Drummond, I said it again, a guy that went on a tour around the league after he was released from the Cavs, debating on where he was going to sign. We thought he was going to come in at 14 a night. He had to get benched. And then God knows, God bless America, Kyle Kuzma, okay? It's so frustrating watching him. I can only imagine playing with him. I made my kids quit watching the TV because I didn't want them picking up bad habits on watching the game of basketball, just watching this man play. So can anybody see or feel the frustration of LeBron James not having Anthony Davis and having to deal with Kyle Kuzma coming down and playing the ridiculous style of basketball that he played last night and in this series? Just no IQ whatsoever.
All right, that's strongly said. And so then, Zach, I come back to you. If you're the person making the decisions in L.A., do you feel like you have to think to yourself, Anthony Davis is just too injury prone for me to depend upon him to be the guy who is going to help LeBron get over the finish line in the future?
Well, even if I thought that, what could I do? Who am I trading Anthony Davis for that's going to be anywhere near equivalent to full-strength Anthony Davis? Are we forgetting who made the biggest shot in the entire NBA season last year? Was Anthony Davis's buzzer beater to beat Denver in Game 2 of the conference finals. This guy deserves the benefit of the doubt. What are you going to do? Trade him for what? For who? How are you giving LeBron a better player than that in his prime, at the end of his prime like that? The Lakers do need to change the supporting cast. That's easier said than done. Everything Legs said about faster, get a shot creator, someone who can take the burden off LeBron, someone who's a little younger. That was supposed to be Dennis Schroeder. They traded Danny Green, an older shooting guard, and a low first-round pick for that guy for all of those reasons. And maybe he would have been that guy if not entering the health and safety protocols right before the playoffs. We just won't know. But that was the whole point of that trade. Someone somewhere needs to give those guys a little more oomph. But Anthony Davis, I'm not going to doubt him. I'm not going to start doing trade talks for him just